Dr. Meschino, my job comes with a lot of stress and anxiety. Is there any supplement or a strategy I could use to help alleviate some of the stress?
Well, there's no doubt that we live in a very stressful world, and it's the inability to minimize the negative effects of stress that actually leads to many common diseases and health conditions that we see. So it's important to know how to minimize the negative effects of stress on your body and your brain, because there's a lot at stake if you don't. And that's what I'm going to share with you in this video, is exactly how to do that naturally. So how does stress actually cause this damage to our body? Well, when you're under high amounts of stress, the brain releases a chemical called ACTH. The ACTH travels to the adrenal glands, tells the adrenal glands to pump out massive amounts of cortisol. And it's that hormone cortisol at high levels that does a lot of damage to your body and to your brain. So for example, high cortisol levels weaken the immune system. So you're more prone to colds, flus, infections, even cancer. It also elevates your blood sugar level. That's why many thin people can become diabetics, and we see this all the time. It also increases fluid retention, which can lead to high blood pressure. And it breaks down collagen under your skin. You wrinkle faster. It accelerates the aging process. We've all seen people who are under a lot of stress. They age before your eyes. That's the reason why. High cortisol levels also cause memory impairment by damaging a part of the brain called the hippocampus. And that's the part of the brain that transfers short-term memory to long-term memory. That's the part of the brain in Alzheimer's disease that shrinks and gets totally damaged. So this chronic high cortisol over your lifetime can do a lot of negative things to your brain. It also increases chronic inflammation, making arthritis worse and making other inflammatory conditions worse. It also breaks down muscle protein, so you lose muscle mass, you get weaker, and it can slow your metabolism, and weight gain can then result. And high cortisol levels cause calcium to be lost from bone, increasing the risk of osteoporosis, which is really common in our society. So that's the bad news. Here's the good news. There are supplements called adaptogen herbs that can help minimize the effects of stress on the body and on the brain. How do these herbs work when you take them as supplements? They decrease the release of cortisol from the adrenal glands when you're under stress. They help to preserve the balance of brain chemicals called neurotransmitters. Increases your work capacity, your mental alertness, helps to decrease the feeling of being overwhelmed and fatigued when you're under stress, even improves sleep quality and duration. So these adaptogen herbs were first discovered by Russian scientists back in the 1950s. They've been tested in many clinical trials. The ones I like best are ashwagandha, schisandra, and rhodiola. So if you feel like you're under stress, then that combination of herbs is very helpful. And in that supplement, there should also be vitamin C, pantothenic acid, zinc, and magnesium, because those vitamins and minerals help to support the adrenal glands as well. Now here's a case in point. I had a patient a few years ago who was in her early 50s. She was under a lot of chronic business, financial, and relationship stress all at the same time. Never slept more than 3 to 4 hours a night. Sound familiar? She'd wake up in the middle of the night with her mind racing, couldn't get back to sleep. So I got her to start taking that combination of adaptogen herbs with the vitamins and minerals in the cocktail. She now sleeps through the night. She's more rested and alert through the day. She has more energy through the day because she's better rested. She says, daily stresses just don't seem to bother me as much. I don't feel stress under any circumstances. So her body and her mind are responding better. She's coping better. She's more productive, has a better sense of well-being in each area of her life. Now, what other natural things have been shown to help reduce the body's stress response that are natural? Here's what I'd like you to also know about. Meditation, deep breathing, progressive relaxation, yoga. These things really contain the stress response, as well as regular endurance exercise. Here's the other thing. Find a hobby that you really love to do. When you're engaged in it, your brain is releasing more endorphins and feel-good hormones. You feel better. And your mind is focused on something positive, something you enjoy. It's like a mini vacation for your mind and your soul. So there's no doubt that we live in a very stressful world. But don't let it wear you down or weaken you or rob your health. There's a lot at stake for you. So use the natural methods that I've shared with you to minimize the negative effects of stress. And I'm certain that you'll see a big difference in how you look, how you feel, how you function. It'll even slow the aging process, I guarantee it. So I hope this was helpful. I'm Dr. James Meschino. Thanks so much for watching.